responsibility.
Finishing this fight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Lore Council. This is Kate, and I'm joined with Keith.
Hello.
And today we are going to be razzling up the internet because today we are talking about how we would rewrite the prequels. We've done a fairly, I would say, in terms of our channel, successful video on how we would have rewritten the Clone Wars, and we are going to take that idea, continue to roll with it, and we are going to go over the time period the Clone Wars are set in, which of course is the prequels, which had their fair share of bad choices.
Sure, yeah, some interesting choices.
Yeah, very, very George Lucas choices. I may have went too far in a few places.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready with my thing.
Yeah.
Think,
yeah, no further introductions needed. But before we will start, I will say, now that I remembered to plug it at the beginning of the episode, we actually have a Discord, and if you're so inclined to join that and have some great conversations with us, that
first.
Yes, that is actually in the that is actually down in the description. So go ahead and join that.
It's down there.
It's down there, and you get to chat with your boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that out of the way, Keith, why don't you hit us with your numero uno?
Yeah, this might surprise a lot of people, but, excuse me. My first thing that I would change about the prequels would be no Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is wiped from existence. He never existed. We went back in time and we prevented his birth. He's no longer in the Star Wars universe. So basically, Phantom Menace happens just sans Jar Jar.
Wow.
Also Attack of the Clones, because, yeah.
Wow. 5-year-old me absolutely hates that one.
Yeah, I mean, Jar Jar, he's fun to laugh at because he's so stupid that he turns around and he comes back around to being funny now because he's so ridiculously stupid that you can't even believe it. But I think overall the film would really just benefit from him just being taken out. And with knowing that, because George said that famous line, I went too far in a few places, because when they came down to seeing the Phantom Menace, he realized it was a lot, and he couldn't really take out any one thing because then it would completely ruin the plot. Like, you can't take out stuff with Jar Jar because he leads you to the Gungans and all this stuff. But so what I would do is just replace Jar Jar, like when they meet Jar Jar in the woods and like take him to like the Gungan city.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from.
You could just replace him with like a random Gungan who's not like a total goof, and he's just like, oh, let me take you to the city because stuff's going wrong. We gotta warn the Gungans or something.
Misa has to warn the Gungans.
And then they, basically just everything proceeds like Jar Jar never existed. They go in the I can't remember the name of that stupid sub. It's like a Booma or something like that.
Oh God.
We're gonna speed you saw on your way. Oh, a bongo. It's called a bongo.
Oh, a bongo. Bingo bang a bongo.
Yeah, so they would just do the whole bongo sequence without Jar Jar and everything without Jar Jar. And I think everyone else in the movie could shine. Like they could. It would just. I think it would force everyone else to interact more because Jar Jar is taking up less screen time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm pretty much fine with the movie. Just that one thing.
Wow. Right out of the gates. I wouldn't say that's too spicy yet, though. So. Not quite in spice level territory. That was like a bell pepper, but I like it. It keeps the movie a bit more serious. Because we already also have R2-D2 and C-3PO to get our comic relief in. So do we really need another comic relief character?
That's true, and I do like wireframe C-3PO a lot. See-through C-3PO.
C-3PO.
C-3PO. Ah, we did it.
Yeah.
But Yeah, what was your thing that you'd want to change?
So my first one actually not only negates Jar Jar, but it negates the Phantom Menace, because I would have Episode 1 basically take the place of Episode 2 take the place of Episode 1. And just right off the bat, just move the timeline. We start, right on the eve of the Clone Wars, and that way we already get, like, Anakin and Obi-Wan. We can focus on their relationship for 3 movies instead of basically 1.5 movies, I would say. Gives them that much more time to grow, and just completely skip out on Anakin on Tatooine, and kind of just get rid of all that. And, Phantom Menace is, like, it's an enjoyable movie. Like, I can sit and I can watch it. But I think it would have been served a lot better if we kind of just jumped right in. Because the prequels built up the Clone Wars as if, like, this is the most important thing that ever happened. And I think to wait until the last 30 minutes of the second movie of the prequels to get that, it kind of wastes it. Because as far as only movies go, we don't get, like, hardly anything of the Clone Wars.
Okay, so you'd want to make Episode 2 Episode 1, and then have the new Episode 2 be like the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah, basically just like the micro series.
Right. But the whole movie would be about the Clone Wars and take place during the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
that's very. I do like that idea.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of usurping Phantom Menace out of existence just because nostalgia, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would help the trilogy flow a lot better too. Because then we don't have, like, this awkward, 10-year time skip where we go from little kid Anakin to pedophile stare Hayden Christensen.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that would help a lot. What would be your number 2?
Yeah. So for this one, number 2 is I want, like, a believable romance between Anakin and Padme. That way it's more tragic when, Anakin does fall and all that. Just better writing in that regard. Like, you don't have to have a super believable reason for 2 characters to fall in love, but it has to be at least better than, like, say, like, in the Batman, like, why is Catwoman wanting Batman? Just because they're the main characters,
Yeah.
So maybe have, like, it could be similar stuff to, like, the plot of Episode 2. Have Anakin, like, assigned to protect Padme as a senator, and they bond over, him protecting her, the bodyguard, stuff like that. The senator and the bodyguard.
Nice.
Or the Jedi bodyguard. But, just like a better meet cute start for them for their romance, and just start off on the right foot.
Yeah, to loop back to mine, I think that would help that too, because then we don't have their first meeting when they're both, like, children. I think that would help a lot too. Like, have them not get introduced in this weird way. Are you an angel?
No, yeah, and then when they meet again, Anakin's all, he's all freaked out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe have Anakin have a little bit more cool, more panache, a little bit less insulliness.
Yeah. Have him not have the awful, like, Jedi Padawan buzz cut.
Nah, dude, buzz cut's iconic.
Oh yeah, very iconic poofy haircut they have.
Yeah, the old shave it and no gel, just let it all stick straight up.
Let it poof. That was literally my haircut for, like, 5th and 6th grade.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very fashionable.
And I got some other stuff, but I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, my number 2, I've seen this thrown around a lot on some other stuff online as well. But just have Darth Maul be kind of like the main villain of the prequels until Episode 3, when we get, like, the big Palpatine, like, was the mastermind all along thing. So basically have Maul take the place, well, have him live past Dooku? Episode 2. Yeah, I mean, because that was the thing with the prequels, is, like, Dooku's awesome, but, like, he kind of just gets introduced, and we have to get the exposition on who he is. Mm-hmm. And I think it just works better if we have just one villain. We don't introduce a new one every single movie, and just basically
have Maul stay as, like, kind of a similar role as in Phantom Menace, sort of like the mysterious villain.
Yeah, like it can be known that he's like a Sith, like they can figure that out, but basically have him be like the Darth Vader of the prequels, where like he's Palpatine's, second in command.
And he would be like in command of the Separatists or something.
Yeah, he's in command of like the Separatists, and then we can get like a scene like at the end of Episode 2 where Palpatine's like, "Oh, I want Anakin. He's so much cooler than Darth Maul. Darth Maul sucks."
You're forgetting this would require Ray Park to do, multiple lines on screen and act and stuff.
Yeah, well, you can.
I don't think that would work long term.
Well, just have someone else. Have Ray Park do like basically just like a stunt double thing. Like, yeah, he can do all like the fighting and stunts, and then somebody else can be Maul in makeup. Like, it's not that hard to put.
I almost feel like they did do that in Phantom Menace. During the balcony scene when Maul's talking to Sidious, he looks like completely different almost to me.
That could be, but yeah, that'd be an easy way around it.
Okay, so maybe recast Maul and just have somebody with some gravitas in there,
or even yeah, and kind of maybe when he's not like fighting or like doing that kind of stuff, maybe just like have his hood up, and that way you can kind of obscure his face a little bit more too.
So just to clarify, you don't like Maul returning in the Clone Wars, but you would be okay with him just never dying because Phantom Menace didn't happen in your timeline.
Yeah, Phantom Menace
just
never
being
happened.
The main villain.
Yeah. He would basically, like I said earlier, he's basically just the Darth Vader of the prequels.
Okay, so he's not going to be like a schemy, slimy kind. He's going to be more a mysterious, scary guy.
Yeah.
Big bad villain, basically like Darth Malak or something.
Yeah, I guess Darth Malak would be like a good way to do it. Like you could have him like, have him maybe be a little bit mysterious for the first half of the first movie, and then like at the end when he's, oh my god, he's got command of this giant droid army and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I would like Maul with like some scary anger, because whenever Maul gets angry in like the Clone Wars cartoon, it's just kind of, I just can't. I find it a little humorous, just the way he moves, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's supposed to be because in Clone Wars he's like crazy versus like angry, but like have like a. Yeah.
I want a way more controlled Maul. Like
again,
controlled,
kind of
tempered, but like still like crazy pissed off Maul.
Yeah. So again, like basically like Vader. Like Vader gets pissed off all the time in the OT.
Exactly. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And then maybe
Vader just casually chokes a guy through his vid screen.
Yeah. Yeah, and Maul could do like some similar stuff. We could get some parallels there. And maybe
would Maul be wearing his hood get up all the time? Because it's like my favorite outfit of his.
Yeah, like whenever he's not like lightsaber fighting or like leading troops, I think I said this earlier, but like he would just have his hood up because then that way you can obscure the face a little bit more. That way you could have another actor be doing the voice parts.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I was also gonna say, just for some nice symbolism, maybe at the end of the second movie, like Anakin beats him in a fight and like, kind of dismembers him a little bit, and he gets kind of some cyborg parts, so we get the epic Vader foreshadowing.
Okay. All right, yeah, more horrible dismemberment from Maul. Excellent.
Yeah, keep him dismembered, and honestly, like you could literally just have him get cut in half and still survive. And then he gets like the robot legs.
Okay, you just taking a lot of stuff from Clone Wars here, huh?
Or just cut both his legs off, like Vader style.
So. Just give him robot legs, sure.
Yeah, just robot legs. But yeah, that's my big one. Again, not too spicy. But yeah,
definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
And yeah, my number 3, because we're on my number 3, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my number 3 would be to replace Hayden Christensen with a different actor. So have somebody else play Anakin.
I love it.
Someone just don't. I would want like a Shakespearean trained actor. So someone who just of that caliber, like a Patrick Stewart or
Patrick Stewart Anakin. I love it.
Or someone, but like obviously young enough to play the role, but with Shakespearean dramatic training. I think it could be just so much better. Some better writing would be good too.
Yeah, that would definitely help. But yeah, Hayden Christensen is not like he's definitely not like an actor's actor. Like he kind of plays the same character in everything he's in, like whiny teen brat.
Yeah, I've only seen him in like Jumper, which is it's a fine movie, but doesn't give him much to work with there, I guess.
Yeah, we watched a movie in English class called Shattered Glass, and he literally just plays like an Anakin character. Like, he's just whiny all the time. Lots of close-ups on like his weird raper face.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I couldn't do a better job at acting, but I'm also, not a trained actor. But I could. There are definitely people out there who could have acted it better. And I think you definitely hit the nail on the head of like having better writing would also be a big, big help.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just if you just had someone else come in, another screenwriters come in and look over George's script, and say, oh, let's rewrite everything here.
Well, just get Steven Spielberg in there. Problem solved.
Does he write scripts? But he just directed.
I think George wanted him to direct, but something with the Screen Actors Guild, he couldn't for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, get someone better.
I think having like a really, really good actor as Anakin would just help it to be that much better. It is kind of a glaring weak spot of the trilogy. He's good. He's good. Like, his best stuff is when Anakin is just like angry, right? That's probably the best stuff. But yeah.
Let's see here. So my number 3. So this would happen in my hypothetical episode 2, maybe like halfway through, but it would be establish a rivalry, like keep Grievous. Grievous comes in at the end of episode 2, so we get a nice chunk of him. That way he's not just
Grievous finale.
Yeah, like have him, and like he can
super
honestly
scary 2D Clone Wars Grievous.
Yeah, obviously he'd be a big CG thing, but basically do it where like he fights Obi-Wan on some planet, and Obi-Wan like barely gets away with his life. Like, he barely escapes. Like, there's more tension than there is for like their episode 3 duel. And then so we have a rivalry between Grievous and Obi-Wan, and then also going along with this, with Maul being the main villain of this trilogy, with Sidious taking a more of a back seat, have Maul and Anakin have like a rivalry, kind of like how Dooku and Anakin do in like the 08 TCW show, where they could maybe
that could work.
They could like face off at the end of episode 1. Anakin can lose his hand, and then in episode 2 they kind of have their second match. Anakin wins and like cuts Maul's legs off, and then basically taking the Dooku spot. And then at the beginning of episode 3, Anakin like kills Maul, and basically they get to have 3 rounds. Anakin wins 2 out of 3, and then in episode 3, Grievous and Obi-Wan can have their fight and not have it be it's kind of dumb like it is. Long? Yeah, like don't have a goofy chase with the lizard and the wheel bike. Like, have it be
and
like
the spinning sabers.
Yeah, well, you can keep the spinning sabers in there. That's a cool scene. But yeah, definitely have like the big fight between them, like show off.
Have it be better.
Yeah, like have it show off like Obi-Wan's like new fighting style, because then that's what he's going to use against Anakin later on. Like,
probably because of the way it was like filmed, because it's probably just like Ewan McGregor just like cutting at stuff in front of like a green screen. Like, I bet they didn't even have like a Grievous puppet for him to work with or anything.
Yeah, I have no clue. I've never actually seen how they.
It was all green screen.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely having those two have their like separate rivalries. That way, whenever they get split up, because that's just what happens in Star Wars movies, like the main characters always get split up, then it's more enjoyable to watch, because you don't have Obi-Wan going on like this weird like mystery quest to figure out where Kamino is, and you get to like episode 2 would be him pursuing Grievous, and then Anakin pursuing Maul, and that kind of branches off. By episode 2, Anakin can be a knight, so he can do his own thing, and we can have some cool battle scenes with those characters, and I think that would work a lot better than what we got. And it also helps to set up Grievous for episode 3, and Maul continuing that rivalry with Anakin. So
all right. So in your episode 1, how would the Clone Wars like start? Like, how would the Jedi get control of the clones and all that stuff?
I would
just be the same thing basically.
I'll actually kind of touch on that in my number 4. So let's hear your number 4 first.
Okay, all right. Yeah, my number 4 is make Anakin's fall to the dark side more believable. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. We've talked about this before. You don't like it. I personally don't like the way Anakin's fall works out in Revenge of the Sith. It's basically like, the whole reason he goes to Sidious's side is so Sidious can help him save Padme, but then Sidious reveals he does not know how to prevent death, but, we can find a way together. Now go kill some children in the Jedi Temple, and you'll be super powerful. And then it just unravels from there. Anakin gets like dark side force crazy, and he's like, I'm going to kill Sidious and all my new empire. It's like, bro, you still didn't figure out how to stop death or anything, or the whole reason you did any of this. So yeah, I don't have an exact outline of how it worked out, but just a more believable fall for Anakin. Something like what you would imagine in your head when you watched episode 4 and you talk about, Obi-Wan talks about like the fall and all that.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, like Anakin's fall, like not only is it not believable, but it's like super rushed. And if we're talking only about the movies, which is what we're kind of doing, obviously, like in the movies, you get him killing the Tusken Raiders, killing Dooku, and that's it. And then he goes from those things straight to like infanticide.
Yeah, maybe a better way to show the fall would be like, instead of having Anakin have his dreams and like worrying about Padme dying during childbirth, I don't know, maybe it could be something like, I don't know, she has some sickness or whatever, and they can't figure out what's wrong with her. She's slowly dying, and like no matter what Anakin does, he can't save her. In comes Sidious, and maybe just have Sidious actually know how to stop death. Well,
I think another good way you could do it is
because he kind of does know, because he does the whole dark empire thing. He can do the body transfer and all that, blah blah. So he kind of knows.
Yeah, I think another way you could do it is like have Anakin like. Well, I'll just touch on that in my number 4. So my number 4 is have less convoluted Palpatine plans. Like Palpatine's plans in the prequels are there's like steps within layers within layers. And all of this is wrapped in like the weirdest box ever. So his plan in episode 1 is to do the whole Trade Federation stuff, do the whole Naboo stuff.
Basically, the whole point was just so he could undermine Chancellor Valorum and become become
Supreme Chancellor. Episode 1, his plan is okay. It's a little boring because of the execution. And then in episode 2, it literally starts off with his plan to...
Can I do this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, because I've gone through over this many times. So, the plan, it seems, is first try to assassinate Padme by blowing up her ship thing, and then so he had hired Jango Fett or whatever to make his killer. So hire the dude who's like the template for your clone army to kill the senator who's voting against the army bill or whatever. And then they try and kill her again, and then Jango kills like a bounty hunter, and then they track his little dart thing into Camino. And Obi-Wan goes to Camino because there's a little dart, that only one guy knows where it comes from. Dexter Jetster.
Camino saber
Not even the Jedi
dart.
Archives know where this freaking thing was. Oh yeah, because Count Dooku already usurped the thing from the Jedi Archives. So Obi-Wan goes to this random planet that nobody knows where it is, and look, here's an army. Wow, amazing, and it's all ready. Let's just but then he's still like tracking Jango. Then just from there it just goes completely fucking off the rails.
Yeah. Well, not only that, like literally just within his plan to assassinate Padme, he tells Dooku to do it, who then gets Jango to do it, who then sends Zam Wesell to do it, who then sends a droid to do it, who drops off bugs to kill Padme. Like there's literally like 6 steps there. How I would do it, I would just have Palpatine, like at the start of episode 1, which is episode 2, he's bringing forward this motion to have the Republic create an army because there are separatists, and just literally in the opening crawl be like, thousands of planets have seceded from the Republic, and in order to answer this, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine has blah 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 created a bill to create a clone army, and blah blah blah, and then he can use that to like get emergency powers, and then he gets the Jedi get killed off during the war. We could have them like mention that in episode 2, be like, oh, we've already lost 100 Jedi Knights, like we can't keep going at this rate, like the Order will be exhausted, blah blah blah. And then Anakin can get a taste for like violence, and he starts falling, and then rather than have Palpatine's plan,
how the clone army get pulled in?
Yeah, so the clones get brought in to fight off the Separatists and whatever.
Like, are they already like created or something, or?
Yeah, like they can just have them be. It could be something where Palpatine had
Let's just say they created them all in like 6 months or something.
Yeah, like the Sparty clones from the Thrawn trilogy, where like they get grown super quick.
No, sure they can make like 500,000.
Yeah,
a couple months.
And don't have like outrageous numbers for like the droid army either. Like I think in like if you read some of the source books, like the droid army was like trillions of droids big. Also, just have the Separatists also use clones, because then the fact that it's called the Clone War makes sense.
No, clones versus droids, bro.
No, clones versus clones.
You're gonna ruin the whole thing.
That's okay.
Would they at least be different kinds of clones? Because I mean,
well, yeah, because they're from
it's gonna
different.
Get pretty confusing.
They're
if
from
all wearing
different
the same
templates
armor.
and.
Okay. Like alien clones, maybe.
Yeah, like just have them. Yeah, or just have them just use different armor. Like the Republic clones can use like the Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor, and then the bad guy clones can use evil clone armor. But yeah, just have it be clone versus clones.
Yeah, can really bust some heads there.
That's
or
okay.
Butt against heads with that statement.
Yeah. Also, just in general, have Palpatine's plan. Don't have it be about Anakin the whole time. Wait until like the end of episode 2 for him to like finally take notice, because
the big picture stuff works for me. The overall plan works, right?
Yeah, like the overall plan, but have him like kind of change midway through of being like, oh, like I should take like the Jedi's like greatest general from them, and have it not only be so he can have a powerful ally, but have him throw in like a cocky Sidious line of like how, oh, like once I've turned their greatest general, it's like pissing in their Cheerios.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
You would maybe have some more little asides where we get to see what like Palpatine's kind of planning and how he's working things out.
Yes, and have it be way less convoluted. Like have it be like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Bam, easy.
Because after Phantom Menace, it's mostly like a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a couple scenes of Sidious kind of plotting behind the scenes in Phantom Menace, but after that, mostly like, what's the word? Like on the surface stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like have maybe in like episode 2 have like 2 or 3 scenes of Maul and Sidious discussing plans, and then in episode 3 we can get a bit like maybe a couple more.
Yep.
But yeah, that were the penultimate changes. So what is your ultimate, your finale, your big final big bang boom change?
Yeah, this one's another one involving Anakin. So basically, I would have the final fight in episode 3 between Anakin and Obi-Wan. I would have it be much shorter compared to the original Revenge of the Sith final fight.
I like it.
Much shorter and much more just emotionally impactful, So just extremely better writing compared to what we got in that final fight. Like real gut-wrenching stuff as these brothers are like, arguing with each other and all this stuff. You could have Anakin say some really disgusting things to his friend that would like, maybe even turn off the audience towards him.
Yeah.
But you understand the reasons, or like at least that why he's, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, I can definitely agree with that.
Like you could almost keep that same shot where it's like Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of looking at each other on Mustafar and stuff, but just different writing. And
well, yeah, I think
you can just have them have the fight on that landing platform and it stays there, but it's like super, just like hardcore, emotionally impactful fight.
Yeah, and
maybe more force powers than like a force push. I don't know.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think the big flaming hot take in here coming. I think the episode 3 fight is super overrated and over long. Like, yes, it is very, like, physically impressive that the two actors did all that, but that doesn't mean it's, like, amazing. I
Like,
think
it was hype when you were a kid, but
Yeah.
as an adult, you're just kind of like, this is too long, and where's the drama?
I also think that, like, Duel of Fates is better, but Duel of Fates is also, like, they have less, like, spinny moves, they have less, like...
I like Battle of the Heroes, but it just gets kind of annoying after a while when you're watching that fight, because it just keeps going and going. And it gets to them swinging on the freaking power cables, and they're, like, hitting their sabers as they pass each other. It's like, what the hell is this? Is this Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, I think what they should have done is had it, like you said, like, have it be shorter. Like, could you do it faster, more intense?
Yeah, save some money. Just have it in one set, that landing pad that they're on in the beginning.
I think, I think having it be over, like, a couple set, like, maybe, like, 2 or 3 locations would be kind of cool. Just, just to show off some other stuff.
Things get, faster and more intense, sure.
Well, yeah, and plus, if you're adding in, like, some, like, better force powers and stuff, I think it'd be pretty sweet to see, like...
Yeah, have Anakin, them, like, chuck some shit at each other.
Yeah, have them throw... Like, I think that would be a really cool throwback to Empire Strikes Back if we had, like, Anakin, while he's fighting Obi-Wan, like, throw some crates and stuff at him.
And then he slashes it.
Yeah. And then, like, and then we could, like, get, like, Anakin could force push Obi-Wan, like, through a window or vice versa or something.
Yeah.
And
something
get some
with, like,
stuff.
a similar kind of drama to that Luke versus Vader Empire fight. Just more shit talking. I want them, like locked sabers, and they're, like, talking to each other. Obi-Wan's like, I trusted you. Yeah,
and then Anakin's all like
once the fight starts, it just turns into, like, a dumb action movie fight. Yeah,
and I think that would be a lot better. Also, have it be a little more, like, physical. Like, I kind of like the part where, like, they kind of, like, have, like, a little tussle, like a little wrestling match almost.
Yeah.
Like, have some more of
that.
Like,
kicking each other, kneeing each other.
Yeah, like, I think, like,
have someone,
add
like,
some
throw
more
a
of that.
punch or something.
Yeah, well, literally have Anakin, like, use his robot arm and just, like, clock Obi-Wan, like, in the face.
I mean, he does use it to choke him.
Yeah, but I mean, like just, like, deck him in the face. And obviously, like, I don't need to see, like, blood spray and, Obi-Wan lost 5 teeth. But, you
make it a little bit more brutal.
Yeah, like, a little more physical. I think that would definitely be good. And honestly,
show him getting some bruises and scuffs and stuff. Sure.
Well, I think it would be really cool too to, like, see Anakin, like, land maybe a couple, like, superficial cuts on, like, Obi-Wan, like, nothing, like, crazy, but kind of like
glances.
Yeah, a couple glances, kind of like how Dooku does to Obi-Wan, where, like, he nicks his leg and his arm.
Oh yeah,
like, get some of that in there. And then I think having the ending where, like, Anakin loses because of his own hubris, I think is, like, perfect. And then,
maybe I would just have them just look more pissed at each other. Like, just look like they hate each other.
Well, I think you should, like, do that for Anakin, but I think Obi-Wan should stay, like, stone-faced throughout it, because he's not, like, letting his emotions...
Stone-faced, like, grim stone-faced.
Well, yeah, like, he's like grimacing, and, like, he's not, like, happy about it.
Yeah. But, don't have that thing where they're, like... like, Anakin's practically running backwards, and they're, like, hitting their saber. The one where they're, like, kind of just doing the same move over and over again, going down that one hallway.
Oh, that is like... Yeah, maybe another hot take. Yeah, the little thing where they're through the hallway, and they keep, like, slashing the walls, and they get all the sparks. I hate that, because...
Oh, no, that one I like. I was talking about a different
scene. I did not like that one. But I think I only dislike it because now every, like, fan-made lightsaber fight has the need to, like, add that in.
No, I like that. They're getting all...
Yeah, I suppose it'd be okay.
Careless and slashing stuff.
I think a nice little detail to add also that you can do to make it seem like it's going on longer than it is, because you can have it, like, interspersed between, like, other parts of action, too. Would be, like, as they get towards the end of the fight, they aren't swinging their lightsabers as fast or as hard because they're just tired.
Yeah,
I think that would be that would be a better way of showing it being long, like showing them feeling the effects of it versus having it actually be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, they are Jedi, they can use the Force for strength and stuff, but yeah, they should it should show that the fight's having, like, an effect on them physically, yeah. But you still want the Yoda versus Sidious fight?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it gets a little too goofy with Palpatine like hamming it up and
throwing the freaking Senate seats.
Well, I think throwing the Senate seats is
I like
fine,
that.
but having him like
It's
cackle
over the
like
top.
a cartoon villain is a bit much. Like let him get like 1 or 2 good cackles in, but he shouldn't be laughing the entire time.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like have that inner. I would also like to add on to your thing. I would have the Anakin Obi-Wan fight taking place like during Order 66. So then you can intercut some other pieces of like Jedi fighting like against the clones as well.
Okay.
Like maybe, I don't know, follow along like Quinlan Vos or Kiadi-Mundi or something where like they're fighting against their clone people. And as
Sure. Yeah.
because then you could do a nice little parallel where as the Jedi are losing like in Order 66, Obi-Wan is like starting to like gain ground against Anakin. So
So instead of just like a straight Jedi death montage, maybe just have a few scenes of like a few action scenes of Jedi having to fight off their clones.
yeah, and then you could have one like I always just go back to Kiadi-Mundi because he's the only one who like does anything against the clones basically. Like have
he deflects like 2
he
shots
deflects,
and
like
just,
yeah.
it's like
Have him holding off like clones and he's like having to like flee and try and get away and then like
maybe make it seem like it wasn't too easy for the clones to kill the Jedi. I can
because it was
definitely
supposed
get
to
around
be
that.
easy, but it shouldn't be like, you know, GG good game.
Yeah, show like a couple of dead clones at least.
Yeah. But yeah.
Somebody's got to get their head cut off.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else to add to our epic lightsaber fight fan fiction?
No, that's it for me. Yeah, I would basically pretty much keep everything the same, even Attack of the Clones, even though the plot's kind of nonsensical. It somehow works as a movie for me.
Sure. Yeah, so
just Zerp Jar Jar, just kind of tighten up the screws with Anakin and Padme, and Anakin a lot. And yeah, everything else should follow suit.
Nice. So my biggest, most finalist change, the one I complain about the most to people I know, no Chosen One prophecy. Ever. No mention of it. It's stupid. It's dumb. George literally just wanted to make like a Jesus allegory for his main character, and it doesn't work. The Jedi shouldn't have like a prophecy.
No, but Vader kills Palpatine in Episode 6. And
I don't care. Vader does not kill Palpatine to restore balance to the Force. Vader kills Palpatine because he's zapping his son with the lightning.
Yeah, they bring up the prophecy in Tatooine Ghost, and Han and Leia are talking about it. Han's like, "No, I guess he fulfilled the prophecy after all. He killed Palpatine."
Yeah, and that's all good and fine, but like putting Anakin should be important because he's a great general and because he's a great Jedi, not because he's Space Jesus.
I don't know. I'm just I don't really find anything wrong with it. It adds some mystery. He is the chosen one, the one who will bring balance to the Force.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fine. I like mystical Jedi stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Jedi having prophecy, it just doesn't seem like something that fits with them. Like they're supposed to be like samurai monks, not like.
Well, I mean, in like the Knights of the Old Republic comic, they have they predict stuff.
Yeah, but those are visions.
Yeah, vision is a prophecy, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Prophecy was probably made when the Jedi had a vision like thousands of years ago.
I don't know. I think that it's one of those things where it's tell and they're not showing. They should be showing you that Anakin's important versus they tell you he's important because...
Right.
And at the end of the day, midichlorians, I don't care about them, but the way they're handled in the prequels are kind of dumb. The way they do it, like in the EU later, I think was a lot better. But just like having Anakin be special because he has more cells in his blood, I think is just stupid. I don't know. I think the Chosen One prophecy is just really, really dumb.
No.
It adds like a bit too much fantasy into my science fantasy.
It's space fantasy.
Space fantasy, science fantasy. But yeah, overall, it just doesn't work for me. I'm glad it works for you, but for me, I think Anakin being important because he's like he's the best Jedi, he's the best pilot, he's the best fighter.
It's supposed to be like a tragic thing, you know. He's like the prophesied hero, but then he turns evil, but then he's eventually redeemed. I like it.
Yeah, and that's fine, but you could have different ways of him being tragic. Like if he fell to the dark side to end the Clone Wars, versus he falls to the dark side because and I get it, like it is like tragic, but George wasn't quite doing it so well, and I think that part of it is because
you could always make it completely different. That's true.
Yeah, but that would
like have Palpatine maybe like almost force Anakin to turn to the dark side and become evil, or unless, you know, or else something worse will happen, or, you know, he just basically manipulates him into thinking that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so you have some very radical changes. I would basically just keep the same story and just tighten up things here and there. Because I don't know, everything in the movies is just so ingrained in like the rest of the, you know, expanded universe lore that I just, you know, you couldn't change anything. Yeah. You definitely just remove Jar Jar without ruining anything, so there's that.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, yeah, my changes would completely, like, rewrite all of Star Wars, everything. But you know what, that's...
You're gonna basil Star Wars.
Who wants to be basiled?
Look out, he's got a bezeling planisher.
But yeah, those are our 5 ways that we would change the Star Wars prequels. If you have any great ways or just interesting ways that you'd like to share, drop a comment below. If you think that we're totally full of hot air and we're 100% wrong, you know, comment down below and tell us too, because we, you know, yeah. I would enjoy to see what you guys would do, you know, the viewers, the plebeians, as one might say. I know, Keith, you've been watching a lot of HBO's Rome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely not like a straight, just complete rewrite. But, you know, kind of fixing some things.
Yeah, yours is definitely more fixing some things, as to where I have reshaped the prequels as Octavian's going to reshape the Roman Empire.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that one before, you know, removing Phantom Menace and just start at Attack of the Clones. That way there's no weird time jump or anything. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a strict canon purist. So the original prequels are the canon as so set forth by George Lucas himself. Amina Petris Tati. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, we have some other great content planned for the near future. So if you've enjoyed this content or anything we put out in the past, drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, because it's helping us grow and we really appreciate it. So until we see you next time, this has been Cade from the Lore Council, signing off.
This is Keith. Please leave a comment.